Good morning, everybody. Burnett County Circuit Court Judge Melissa Mogen is our very special guest today, Thursday, July 17th, 2025. For DrydenWire.com, I'm Ben Dryden, and you're watching DrydenWire Live, presented by Americans for Prosperity, Wisconsin. AFP Wisconsin works to reignite the American dream and break down government barriers that hold us back from our full potential. Visit afpwisconsin.com to learn more and join AFP to fight for more freedom for all Wisconsinites. With that, we welcome, for the first time on with us, Burnett County Circuit Court Judge Melissa Mogen. Melissa, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Ben. How are you? I am doing great.
I'm so excited. First time that you have been on. I have to ask something before we even get started. My dad was a sheriff for 28 years in Washburn County, and he's completely ruined TV shows for me. So when I was a kid or in high school, watched Law and Order, and he'd just sit there, nope, can't do that, like to all the cops. Like, nope, can't do that, can't do that. No, that's a lawsuit waiting to happen if you do that. He's like ruined shows for me. I can't watch them with him. As a judge, do you ever do that too? Like sometimes when you're just watching this, like, no, you can't do that, or that was stupid.
It's very hard not to do that because the legal shows are so not accurate and so not true. So people don't really want to watch with me anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it is a TV show, so I can appreciate that. But has it ruined it for you?
Has it ruined it for me? No, for me watching it, I like it. I enjoy it. I love all that is the law, even the fake stuff. But it's hard when I watch with my family, with my kids, and sure. I'm like, well, you really can't go to trial the next day. It's a homicide.
What are you talking about? They do it like 5 minutes later, and then there's a trial.
They do, and they say, well, tomorrow we're having this 5-day trial. That doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's not the real world. But we could do like a whole show on just like breaking all those things down, and like that's not how it all works. But for people who don't know you, you've been the judge in Burnett County for, this is your second term, right? It's been what, 6-8 years? How long has it been?
It's been 8 years now. I've been on the bench.
You were, your first election, you had an opponent, did you not?
I did have an opponent.
And I think you won like 63, 65%. So it was a very resounding win. Did anyone run against you in the last election? What was that, 2 years ago?
No, they did not. I ran by myself. I thought I had heard some rumblings, but then in the end, no one else ran.
Well, we kind of see that a little bit in our area lately, that a lot of people don't seem to want to run for those positions, whether it's DA or judges. Why do you think that is?
Because it's a lot of work, and you're giving yourself, I literally put my whole self into my job, body, mind, soul. It's a lot of work. You're underpaid. It has a lot of secondary trauma that people don't really even think about when it comes with a job like a judge or a district attorney or a law enforcement officer, a social worker, all of those jobs. And so it's very hard. It's difficult.
You said secondary, did you say trauma?
Trauma, secondary trauma.
What is that?
Secondary trauma is where you're not the person actually experiencing the trauma. You're not a part of that incident or event, but you're going through, like in homicide cases, you're looking at the pictures, you're seeing how the victims are affected. You're doing all of that, and it actually has an impact. Every case, I can't say every case, most every case, especially the serious ones, they stick with you. They stick with me. I remember all of them very vividly, and what I've seen, what I've heard, the impact on the people that it's affected, the impact on the people, on the community as a whole, and it sticks with you.
Secondary trauma. Judges, DAs, social workers, and cops absorb the aftermath. Photos, testimony, victim impact. They're not in the incident, but the residue sticks. Ever wonder why court professionals seem guarded? This is why.
I think that's something that, well, when Fitzy and I did a show, and we've had other sheriffs on in the past as well, we've talked about that, and we talk about first responders, the impacts that stuff has. But you know what? We've never actually talked about judges before. We've never actually put them into that same category.
I don't think many people do, and I don't think they put district attorneys in that category either. And I don't think people really give like social workers as much of a benefit as they should, because they are they see everything firsthand, even though they're not experiencing those events. And so we are all experiencing that kind of secondary trauma.
Yeah. And good morning. I'll always call her Representative Gay Magnifici. I know she has retired now, but whatever. Good morning, Gay. Thanks for joining us. And anyone who's joining us, please say good morning to us. But it is a single judge county. In Burnett County, there's, I think, like 25 or 26 out of the 72 counties, so that's roughly a third of the counties have a single judge county. There has to be benefits to that, but there also must be challenges. So what are some of the benefits and challenges to being a judge in a single circuit court judge county?
Well, some of the benefits are I get to control everything. I get to make sure that I'm running my courtroom. I'm running the policies here. I'm the one who is in charge of making all of the decisions and how our cases flow or how they don't flow. All of that, the administrative stuff that people don't think about with a judge's position. There are definitely disadvantages, because with all of that, then I'm the only one who has to figure all of that out. And I'm the only one who has to implement it. I'm the one who has to be on all of the committees that a judge must be on, because I'm only one. I don't get a break like some other counties with other judges do with some of the committees and programs.
What committees? I didn't know you had to be on committees.
Yep, there are certain committees, like there is we have the OWI committee, we have the truancy committee, we have drug court, the CJCC. There are so many programs and committees that people don't really understand that we have to partake in and be a part of.
Is drug court treatment court? Is that what that's referred
Yes.
to as? What happened? I
Yes.
forgot all about that. There was a thing. I think we got a press release sent to us from somebody in Burnett. I think it was the board chair there. It was something about the treatment court, and then you sent us a press release. This was a few months ago. I can't remember all the details. For people who didn't see all that, what was that about, and what is the status of treatment court as of now?
Well, that was about was my treatment court coordinator. We've now changed it to treatment court. We used to be a drug and alcohol court, but now we've changed it to a treatment court. My treatment court coordinator, she ended up getting ill or some medical diagnosis where she's not able to come into work anymore. And because she was not able to come into work anymore, that's when I analyzed and I looked at the whole drug court and her position and all of those things, because I needed to hire somebody else and we needed to fill that position, and I needed to know what exactly she did, down to, the very fine letter. And then in doing so, I realized that Burnett County is one of the very few, if not the only, drug courts that only has a part-time drug treatment court coordinator. And so in my analysis,
One judge, one docket, endless hats. In single-judge counties, the judge isn't just calling balls and strikes. They're also quarterbacking admin flow, policy, and calendars. Efficiency wins, but burnout lurks.
I realized that we need a full-time treatment court coordinator in order to have a better functioning, working treatment court.
Okay.
And then, so how it happened, it came about is that we weren't able to get that full-time position. Burnett County is unfortunately one of the poorest counties in the Wisconsin, in the state of Wisconsin. And so, and plus Burnett County has a very high population of more retirement folks than we do young families to work and produce and have businesses, etc. And so we have a very low working capital for our government to function. And so it was looked at, and we were unable at that time to come to an agreement to reach something with regards to a full-time coordinator. And so I'm going to say it got a little out of hand, I guess, in the fact that in the end, both the courts as well as the administration, the county board, the county as a whole really wants drug court to work, treatment court to work. And we realize that we need to have it functioning and working better. And that means putting more effort and work into it. And so we're looking at hopefully being able to make that position full-time coming this next budget cycle.
Okay, so as of right now, the treatment court is still going on.
Yes.
And is there a
going on
part-time,
strong.
is it a part-time person still?
Yes, it's still our original treatment court coordinator. She's been our treatment court coordinator since like the year or second year after Burnett County went forward and put together a treatment court.
I see. So in the next budget. So who does your well, I've been on the Washburn County Board this is my second year, but I'm still learning everything. And I'm not on finance, but I was told last year during the budget time that it's just, I think they refer to it like as Hell Week, right? Where all the departments come in and say, this is what we want. And very few times I'm told that people actually come in and say, we got too much money. Why don't you take some of it back, use it for somewhere else? Usually everyone wants something. Is that a part of this? Or let me ask you a different way. Are you the one that does the budget for even though it's a judge's office, right? It's an elected position, but it's still like in a budget line item as a department. You're the head of the department. Are you the one that does the budget? And is this what's going to be on your wish list? Or is this separate and they've already agreed they're going to find the money somewhere else?
I'm a part of the budget. Our clerk of courts, Jackie Bosch, she's the one who actually handles the nitty gritty. She gets down to the numbers. She is such an amazing number person. She knows how to do all of that and do it very well. So she and I speak and we discuss what we want to do and how we want to have the money spent during the year. But in the end, she's the one who does all of that hard work.
I see.
And the drug court coordinator having a full-time, that's one of my goals. I know that that's a county goal, and hopefully we're going to be able to do that, and hopefully we can have the money to be able to do that. But we're also looking at now being able to retain a bailiff for our court, which is very needed. So we're going to look at also adding in and needing to locate funds for a court security officer.
Okay, I was going to say, for people who don't know what a bailiff is, I think we've all seen Night Court. And if not, it's totally shit. I see. So you don't have one now. Has Burnett County ever had one?
No, we've never had a court security officer. We have a bailiff, so to speak, when we have jury trials, but that's it.
Treatment court works only if the engine is staffed. A part-time coordinator means fewer check-ins, weaker data, and slower behavior change. If you've seen graduations from drug/treatment courts, you know, steady supervision is the secret sauce.
We do have officers, though. If we need security, we know that there's going to be issues or there's potential for issues. We're always able to call the sheriff, and sheriff always sends up law enforcement officers to sit and be in the courtroom.
If you could wave a magical wand and there was, I wouldn't say a limited amount of money, so let's not get too crazy, but if you could have, your three wishes of this is what I like to do. I think you kind of nailed two of them already, I think, right? Full-time in the treatment court, right? And then a bailiff. What would be a third one that you're like, boy, this would be fantastic? Is there a third one?
Yes, I would like to have, if we're talking only about the courts and only about things that I would be a part of or tangentially a part of, I would love to have more money to be able to look at more deferred programs or other restorative justice programs, things that we can not only have people be accountable and responsible for their actions, but also learn some things and be able to grow as a person, because in the end, that's going to help the community and the public more.
Sure. You had mentioned you could call like the sheriff. In a single judge county, I always refer to it, or Fitz and I used to refer to it as like the three-headed monster. And that's we probably should find a better term for that. But that would be the elected positions in the under the judicial, I guess we'll put it under the judicial umbrella of a sheriff, a judge, and a district attorney. Is it important to have those relationships, or is it, it doesn't matter if we have a good working relationship or not? you do your job, I'll do my job, and that's fine. But what is your relationship with the sheriff?
Some counties run on the idea of it's fine. However it works. Sometimes we have to work with them. Sometimes we don't.
Sure.
Our county here right now in this era, in this time, we have the best functioning, the best flowing, I want to say people in the heads of our departments. Sheriff is amazing. Our district attorney is amazing. We all work as a team, so to speak, in making sure that the government functions and functions properly and smoothly and efficiently. We're not necessarily all going to agree with each other in the end result of a case or in an incident or something like that. But in the end, we are all working together to have that flowing team, the flowing government, and looking out because we know how scarce our resources are. And it's amazing. I want to say that I've had the pleasure of working under Sheriff Finch, working with Sheriff Finch in my term, and now working with our district attorney, Kevin Schmidt. And I think I see great things. And it saddens me that our sheriff is going to be retiring here soon. But I have no doubt in my mind that she is going to make sure that we have some good candidates that are going to be running.
You brought up the DA, Kevin Schmidt. He's new to that. Or was it Kevin Schmidt?
Kevin Schmidt,
Kevin
yes.
Schmidt. He's relatively new to that. He was the ADA, right? And then ran for the DA. In your 8 years, how many DAs have there been? Because it seems to be like quite a few, right? Was there, what, 4?
Bill Noreen. Then I had Joseph Schieffer.
Oh, I love Joe.
Yeah, and I think, and then Kevin Schmidt, I think we may have only had 3, but we've had a couple ADAs, assistant district attorneys, come and go.
Okay, who was the one that they did well, we don't want to get into that. Bill Noreen. There was someone that was from Rusk County. Was that Bill Noreen?
I think, and James Reneke. Oops, sorry. I forgot about James Reneke. You're right, there's 4.
I thought there was 4.
We had 4.
I've heard good things about Kevin Schmidt. I really have. I don't know what that means. Like, I don't know how you be a good DA. I have no idea. I don't know how a judge is a good judge or bad. I don't know how to evaluate that. But you're saying, as of right now, this is going well.
I think it's all going very well. And to answer your question, even if it wasn't necessarily a question posed to me, how do you be a good DA? You work really hard. You put your whole self into your job. You analyze the cases. You look at the facts. You talk to the law enforcement if you need additional facts with the case or other things. You talk to the law enforcement if you think that this isn't necessarily going to be a chargeable offense. You work well with law enforcement. You work well with other departments. And in the end, what makes a great DA is somebody who reviews the facts of the case and the referrals from the law enforcement officers and determines what is actually legitimately chargeable and not to overcharge cases.
When they overcharge cases, why is that bad?
Why is that bad? When they overcharge cases, so some people, the public may not understand this, that when charges come down in a criminal complaint and they're filed with the county through the state or for the state, it goes on our system called CCAP. I forgot exactly what that whole thing means because it's our computer system. It's where all of our legal cases are on the computer. Everybody can access that. When things are overcharged, and let's say somebody's charged with maintaining a drug trafficking place, possession of methamphetamine, possession of THC, possession of drug paraphernalia, let's say just those 4 charges. And let's say that really,
and by the way, that's like a relatively normal charge that we see.
It is relatively normal.
Right, yeah.
See it all the time.
Yep.
But sometimes in the end, those cases may then be presented to the court as a plea deal, as an agreement between the parties, and it may be, only plead to an amended THC and a paraphernalia, or just a paraphernalia, because in the end, there's only residue in the paraphernalia, or, the person didn't actually live in the house, or wasn't aware or wasn't selling drugs. When people hear the word maintaining a drug trafficking place, they think it's a drug dealer's house or where a lot of drug deals go down. Simply to maintain a drug trafficking place, you simply have to have the house, be in charge of the house, and know that drug use is going on, whether or not it's dealing or just simple use. And so when those things are overcharged and it goes on our CCAP system, those charges remain on that person's name for 50 years or more. And so when the public looks at CCAP and they pull up John Johnson and they say, oh, look, he was charged with 4 felonies and he only pled to a misdemeanor. But, oh, gosh, look at that. He was charged with 4 felonies. He must be a felon. That's not necessarily true. Just because you see a felony charge on somebody's name on the CCAP system, it doesn't mean that they have actually engaged in that crime specifically.
So my understanding, and I don't know much about the court system, but a lot of those, you arrest someone and the law enforcement will give it to the district attorney's office with everything that they have found, right, or during their whatever it was, whether it's an investigation or it's a traffic stop, whatever it was. And then the DA, of course, looks at it and decides what's provable and what's not. But a lot of those, my understanding is, and I'm sure I'm off on this, tell me if I am, is that if there's more charges, then there's more likely to be a plea deal to get rid of some of those other charges. Is that true?